Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate. I'm your host, Charlie Flannery, and I am honored to have two guests today. Mr. Bill Callahan,
Charlie, nice to see you.
who's the current president of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors, and Mr. Marty DesJardin,
Hi, Charlie.
past president, and has been a guest on this program during his tenure. Thanks for coming today, guys.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
You're
So,
welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I wanted to do, I know that, I didn't even know until we were talking just before the show that you served, there is an official post of past president, so that your service continues on beyond your active term as president. Right?
Yeah, you stay in it, but actually you start out as president-elect. So it's really like a 2-year real active term. Bill was president-elect last year. Sue Schmidt is president-elect this year. I'm immediate past president, but still on the board of directors, so obviously stay involved, and I got to watch this guy, make sure he does a good job.
Well, Bill, you know, it's funny because I've been practicing for many years. We just have never crossed paths, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to a good working relationship this coming year, and I hope it's the foundation for a beautiful friendship for many more years to come.
I'm looking forward to it as myself.
Yeah,
as well.
and I know that you guys accept these non-paid positions to advocate for realtors and for homeowners and various political laws that affect home ownership. And it consumes a great deal of your time. It must. And that has to come at some kind of personal sacrifice as far as lost income. But yeah, you guys continue to serve. You know, tell me what motivated you.
Well, it's a simple answer. I enjoy the realtor movement. I believe in the realtor movement. And the realtor movement is all about continuing education, professionalism in our work, and the code of ethics. We subscribe to a code of ethics as well. I was past president years ago at the Brockton Board of Realtors, and then I kind of, was out of it for a while, and then I was invited back by some of the members of the board down here in North Bristol. And so I believe in the movement. I believe in continuing to try to make our profession, be tops in our field, so to speak. So I enjoy it.
I'm sure you must, And Marty, I know that you were kind enough to come on a couple of times during your tenure.
Right.
And you expressed some very similar sentiments to what Bill just shared. And, tell me what it felt like, what do you think are some of your most cherished accomplishments?
All right, well, when you get into real estate just as a realtor, you're on the ground, boots on the ground type of thing. But when you get involved in some of the committees and some of the leadership, you kind of see the profession from, 1,000 feet or 10,000 feet up, and it's amazing some of the stuff that we do behind the scenes. We on the local level, the state level, MAR, and NAR, National Association of Realtors. Since I've been president-elect and president, we've had a couple of things that we're all aware of, and that's the first-time home buyer credit, and then the extension of that into 2010, which applied to anybody buying a home that, hadn't bought a home for the last 3 years.
And that moved a lot of inventory.
It did. It looks like it probably made about a 10% difference in the number of sales from the previous years. And now what we're facing primarily is the federal government put together a commission to reduce the federal deficit, which is very worthy, and we all support reducing the deficit. But one of the things that they put out is the possible elimination of the mortgage interest deduction. So our organization, state, federal, and local, are really fighting to stop that in its tracks.
Now, when was this initiative undertaken by the Realtors Association?
They were talking about it this summer, but I'd say this fall, late fall, a call to action came out, and I had mentioned to you, I responded to it, and they asked you to call your congressman. And here I was on my laptop at night after dinner, and I put in the call and my cell phone rang, and they said, now you'll be connected to your congressman. I figured I'd get a staff member. And who picks up the phone on the second ring? It was Congressman Barney Frank.
Wow.
So we had a great conversation for 5 or 10 minutes. And he is in support of our position that it's not a good idea in this economy to eliminate that deduction.
So now this is something specific that was initiated under your tenure, and now it's sort of like passing to Bill to run with the football from here on in with your assistance, I'm sure. But Bill, how do you feel about the need to maintain that, or the market goes off the cliff entirely?
Well, it'll affect the buyers because it'll affect the price. Without the mortgage interest deduction, you could see prices increasing, and that deduction is helpful to medium and low income families, and those are the people that are buying homes, here in Taunton and the cities in Brockton and where I work. And so to open it up and to give the government a bite at the apple, and to say they're just going to start a little bit, kind of nibbling away at the interest deduction, that starts the process.
The nose of the camel is under the tent, as they say.
Exactly. So we are against it, and that's what National Association of Realtors on a federal level is lobbying strongly to say, no, we don't want to touch it. There's other ways to straighten out the budget deficit, but that's not one of them.
Right.
Could I add something to that?
Absolutely.
Bill? It's about 75 million Americans that are affected by it. Some people are sitting here thinking, well, I've paid off my mortgage. It's not going to affect me. But National Association of Realtors estimates that property values will decrease by about 15%. So it could be any of us that have a mortgage paid off, our parents, our grandparents, our uncles and aunts. Say they're sitting there with a $350,000 home, 15%, their equity went down, their net worth went down by $50,000. The deduction is worth about $3,000 per taxpayer, but you can see it's important to all the Americans. And like Bill said, it's really it's an attack on the middle class, because 91% of the people that take advantage of that deduction earn less than $200,000 a year. And then above that deduction is gradually phased out anyway. So it's not like a Bush tax cut for the wealthy that we have to eliminate. It's nothing like that.
It's every homeowner in America.
This deduction has been around for about 90 years.
And the only statement that you made that I might take exception to would be their 15% depreciation. I think it would be a bigger hit than that.
It could be.
But other than that, I was right on board with you as far as the necessity of maintaining that. People have planned their financial futures, utilizing this. You can't change something midstream,
And a lot of times too, people plan, if they're going to do home improvements, every year, they schedule, okay, in the spring we get our taxes back, we're going to go to Home Depot, we're going to buy a new kitchen, or we're going to buy new appliances, or we're going to put in new windows to our house, things like that. Let's do a project around the house. So that money's reinvested in that house, and it's also continuing to help the economy. So to take that away, that would hit a lot of people, and a lot of people that are associated with the housing industry.
One thing I've noticed, I've been practicing for about 27 years now, and when times were good and people were getting that money and they were reinvesting it in their homes, it was such a joy to drive down certain streets and see this home had just been freshly painted and this one had some new potted plants on the porch, and people were taking pride and they were putting the money back. Now, unfortunately, in so many neighborhoods, you see a house that's not getting that love.
Yeah, just like I do the same thing. I'll drive down a street and check out what they're doing at the house. And you're right, because in hard times, you have people that are in bad positions that can't keep up, or the house is. You see it. You do see it.
Or the house has been abandoned,
right, exactly.
or something like that, or the bank owns it and no one's taking care of it.
And they don't care, right?
Oh, please.
Sure.
Don't get, that's 4 episodes alone just on what I think of the banks, you know?
But this is ongoing.
Except for the
Bill.
loans I have already pending. I love
Those
everyone
banks,
that's
yeah.
handling those loans.
All the local banks, they're great. Not the national guys, that's a
Well,
different
the
story.
big name that comes up, well, we won't
I have to buy a lot of
we
hamburgers.
don't
I have
want
to
to
buy a
mention
lot of
names.
hamburgers, but the deals get done, you know?
Yeah.
But this is an ongoing thing, so I would urge, and I'm sure you guys would urge anyone, all your viewers, to call your congressman, because it's not just realtors protecting their turf. This affects everybody. So we urge you to urge people to call their congressman and urge them to not to vote to eliminate that deduction.
Now, we hear so much talk today about green this, green that. Do we realtors have an official position on anything green? I mean, because it seems to be a lot of money for the bang that we get, you know what I mean? A lot of bucks for the bang with the current technology. I mean, do you see a push on? I know that the government offered some type of tax credits for people that would
Sure.
become more energy efficient. In fact, wasn't one of the pieces of legislation we managed to get defeated,
Yes.
some proposal in Massachusetts where everybody would have to have an energy audit?
Energy audit when people sold homes. So again, they're just going after one industry, putting the burden on people just because they're selling a home to have an energy audit. And guess what? All of a sudden they're putting in light bulbs, expensive light bulbs that don't work, and extra. You know, we're all for energy savings and to have things green, but it shouldn't be burdened by one industry.
And they did that when they did Title V, you
Yeah,
know, which is an
yeah.
environmental issue, but they tied it into the real estate sale. So really, the only time they checked the cesspool was when they're getting ready to sell the house. You know, the cesspool could have failed 5 years ago, but when they go to sell it, that's when the problem's fixed. So to tie these issues in, whether it's the Title V, something as simple as smoke detectors, or the energy audit, to tie it into the sale of real estate, I mean, that's unfair to the people selling the real estate.
Well, plus, so many people don't realize how expensive those systems can be until it comes and bites them in the knee.
Right.
I was involved with building modular homes just prior to the enactment of the Title V regs, and prior to that, a typical septic system might cost me $5,000 to $7,000. Once it went to Title V, the sky's the limit. I mean, sometimes people today spend $25,000, $35,000 or more.
$30,000 I heard the other day on a
You
remove
know?
and replace. $30,000.
I mean, to me, if there's one good thing that's come out of that Title V, it's that a lot of people realize how intrusive the government can be in their life. You know, up until then, you know, they'd come along, they'd take a survey. Do you support the environment, or are you for raping and pillaging, you know, our natural resources? Well, you know, they'd go back to these committees in Congress and say 98% of respondents said they were in favor of the good thing. You know what I mean? So they get funding, they enact this legislation. The next thing you know, but up until the Title V, it was always like Dow Chemical or some big guy that was, you know, whose ox was being gored.
Yeah.
Now they're in everybody's pocketbook.
Yeah.
You know, and they're worse than the lawyers. When they see a pile of money on the table, they go after, you know, they figure, well, you know, the person's selling their house, they're making all this money, why not a little piece for us? You
Well,
know?
there was some good that came out of it. I mean, to defend that whole legislation. I mean, you buy a house, and if your septic system fails in 10 years, you buy a new house, and then you find out that the developer put it down, you know, in the water table. You know, that's not fair either. So I mean, the record keeping was very poor prior to Title V. The installation and the engineering, I think, needed some improvement. So now it is more expensive, but yeah, let's hope it solves the problem to make things fair for everyone, the homeowner as well.
Yeah, I'm amazed as a resident of Taunton, and where I live, I'm close to downtown, so we have municipal sewer, but the percentage of homes in Taunton that are on private systems.
Yeah.
You know, versus like say a town like Rainham.
It's around 50%, isn't it?
It's
Somewhere around
it's
there.
high.
Surprisingly
yeah,
high. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not uncommon to run into it when you're on a listing. You know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, we like those town sewer listings.
You know,
Nothing to worry about.
personally, I prefer town sewer myself because if there's a problem in the street, every other taxpayer in the city is my friend. You know what I mean? If my septic system fails, I got no friends.
Sure.
You know, I got to come up with that dough.
Exactly.
But I think we're going to take a short break here, and we'd like you to hang around for just a couple of minutes. We'll be back with more of Let's Talk Real Estate.
Some things require experts at every stage.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Others are more just a matter of taste and preference.
Just the way I like them.
Buying a home falls somewhere in between. That's why you should visit HomeLoanLearningCenter.com for expert guidance. A website where you can learn just how you should go about buying a home. You'll get facts, tools, and impartial advice. From seeing a lender to settlement and beyond, there's a step-by-step explanation of the process. All at HomeLoanLearningCenter.com.
Houston, we have a solution.
Think of it as mission control for buying a home. That's HomeLoanLearningCenter.com.
This is a message from HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Can you afford your home loan? Could your mortgage payment increase in a few months to something you can't afford? Hi, I'm Ruby D. If you're not sure you can continue to make your mortgage payments, call a government-approved housing counselor in your community for free and confidential help. Keep your home. Know your loan. Call today.
Call 877-HUD-1515. That's 877-HUD-1515 or go to HUD.gov.
Hi, welcome back to more of Let's Talk Real Estate. I'm your host, Charlie Flannery, and my guests today are Mr. Bill Callahan,
Nice to see you, Charlie.
current president of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors, and my dear friend Marty DesJardin,
Thank you, Charlie.
past president of the North Bristol County Board of Realtors. And we're going to do kind of a ceremonial passing of the gavel here, live on Let's Talk Real Estate.
Bill, it was great working with you last year as president-elect, and best of luck in 2011. And whatever help you need, I'll be there for you.
Thank you, Marty. We're looking forward to having you continue on the board as past president of North Bristol County Association of Realtors, and I will do my best to serve the realtor movement. Thank you.
That was terrific, and Marty promised he wouldn't cry, and he's a man of his word. I tell you,
It was tough.
He's probably laughing, having a ball. He's like, glad I got rid of that damn hammer.
If they ask for a volunteer and everyone.
Can I give it back to him right now?
Oh, you have to learn to delegate.
Yes, right. Yeah, delegate.
So what do we get? What do we get on the menu as we go forward in
Well,
2011?
we were off to a good start until a storm hit us yesterday.
Yeah.
We had a roundtable discussion scheduled yesterday at the association, which will be it was technology, staging, and I forget the third one. Was it finance?
Yeah.
But that will be rescheduled. We're going to do an auction seminar. We got technology. We're going to do another thing on technology today that affects the real estate business.
Now,
And-
let me interrupt you for a second. These classes and seminars, those are available only for realtors.
That's correct, and they're some of them are continuing education for our realtor to keep our license in effect, and some are more topics of the day, of interest. So we try to kind of do both, and then I'm going to throw it to Marty. We have a big golf tournament, which you're co-chair of the golf tournament.
Well, no, Mike Ballo was doing a great job as chairman last year and this year. But
It's kind of one of our fun
I claim
things.
to be a golfer. I don't know, some people question that, but it's one of my pet
I heard
projects.
that you got into real estate specifically because you knew you could schedule golf and
Yeah.
that's what I was told.
It didn't work that way, but Bill's right. It's a pet project, and we've really taken it to a different level. The idea behind it is our community service committee,
Right.
and all the profits from the golf tournament go to various charities. I won't name the charities, but there's about 8 to 10 charities that we've been giving. Last year we netted $6,000. This year our goal is to do $10,000.
I know that we did help out homes for our troops.
Right.
Yeah,
We
sure
we
did.
can mention anything that's a nonprofit.
Okay,
that we-
a
that
couple
we
of
help.
the Taunton and Attleboro YMCA,
Strong Kids Campaign, yeah. Yeah.
Pro Homes, they're a nonprofit, we
Sure,
help
yeah.
them out, and a few others. So,
So we're active in the community. We're
yeah.
giving back. And
Yeah.
And we do that
Paying it
tournament
forward.
the first or second week of June. I don't have the exact date. But even if our realtors are not golfers, they have vendor friends, insurance people, mortgage people, Title V people, home inspectors and so forth that sponsor a hole.
They also play,
$100.
too.
And they play, yeah.
They're realtor affiliates. They're part of our board. They have an affiliated membership.
But this year we're doing it at the Back Nine in Lakeville,
Okay.
the old Heritage Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're keeping the cost down, serving a great meal. And we should realize a better profit. And all that money is going to go to our charities.
And that again, that's open to the public.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they would call. What's the number for the board if they want to make contact?
Off the top of my head, I don't have it.
It would
It's
be,
in my cell phone, and I have that turned off right
If
now.
you want to call to participate in
North
the,
Bristol County Association of Realtors.
and the phone number is 508-880-0722. 508-880-0722. Call early and often. Ask for Joan. Tell her Charlie said to call. But yeah, that's usually a very successful event. A lot of people have fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Some of
It's a
them
fun
even
time.
remember it afterwards. You know.
Yeah.
Do you play golf?
I try to play golf,
Yeah?
yes. Yeah.
And
I enjoy it. It's a good day. I bring a friend of mine in the appraisal business, a kitchen guy, construction guy, and then a retired school teacher, athletic director. So that's kind of our force in the last couple of years. Yeah.
and how's Marty as a golfer?
Have we ever played? I don't think
I've never played with Marty. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. You
He
gotta-
tells me he's very good.
You got to give me 5 strokes.
I won't play with anyone who's going to be uptight about the number of mulligans I need.
Yeah.
You know, I need, you got to spot me at least. You know, is that my handicap? I need 20 or 30 mulligans to play around. You know?
Yeah, that's the fun way to do it.
Well, I don't know. Not when you're going through it.
Yeah.
But so, what other types of events have we got planned for, like generating?
I'll tell you one. We're one of the programs, and we're going to co-sponsor it with the New Bedford Board of Realtors, and it's called the Buyers Certification.
ABR.
ABR.
Yeah.
Accredited by, that's
Yeah,
right.
Buyer representative.
Buyer representative. And just a quick synopsis. We have seller's agents and buyer's agents. And this is a certification course. It's a two full day course to get that buyer agency certification. So you're better prepared to represent someone in the market buying real estate.
Right, right.
You know, and we're all pretty well versed, you and I, because we're old vets, and Marty, working with the sellers. But there's nuances to helping the buyers in the market, and this certification or accreditation is really, it's a pretty good program.
Yeah, I'm with you two guys. I mean, if I haven't figured out which end is up by now, it's I need to see if I can get a job at Targets. But we bleeped out. But you know, I had suggested that course to my son. My son's 22. He just got his license.
Yes,
You
good
know?
course.
And I spoke with Joan about it. You don't really leave with the certification. There's something after that you have to.
But she's going to have that in place.
But at least
Right.
at least you have that, and I forgot to ask her how long that remains active before you fulfill the other requirements. But if nothing else, you get the continuing ed credits.
You get that
and
designation
for
forever.
a new
Yeah.
trainee. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
good.
invaluable.
Right.
You know.
And it's a couple $100,
Yeah.
$249 and $229
A
or
couple of days.
yeah, 2 days, March
Yeah.
16 and 17.
Yeah.
Down in New Bedford.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good course.
We're also doing on the Education Committee, which has been ongoing even before Bill and I got involved in it, is we've started webinars this year. We're doing the roundtables, but webinars is kind of the way to go. There's nothing like a live course with a live instructor.
Sure, sure.
A lot of people, yesterday would have been a great day for a webinar, wouldn't it?
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
With a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And we're trying that. It's coming up this month, sometime toward the end of the month. So we're going to gauge it, see how it goes, and take it from there. So that might be something that will continue. Probably will be.
Now, we have a Facebook account. Is that open?
We do,
Is
right.
that open to the general public? If they'd like to visit it? or-
Sure, North Bristol Realtors.
That's it.
Just
on
go to
Facebook?
just put in North Bristol Realtors and you'll come up on our Facebook.
Is North spelt out?
Yes,
or
it is.
N? Okay, so
Yeah.
North Bristol Realtors on Facebook, and
Everybody's on Facebook now, so we
it's
thought we'd
unbelievable.
try it.
And
we're trying to promote our events on Facebook as well.
Uh-huh.
So like the golf tournament, I just saw it the other
Sure,
day that it was
sure.
out there. And hopefully all of our membership, we have over 450 members, close to 500 members.
Close to 500 now.
And so we're thinking that that's just another way to communicate with them.
Yes.
You know, because if they're on Facebook a lot, show
Sure,
up.
sure. No, you've got to change with the times.
Right,
I mean, it seems like it was only a dozen or so years ago we were still using the books.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and it was really tragic that when we made that leap from the books to the web, that all the four boards couldn't communicate with one another.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know you were probably up in Brockton at that
Right, yeah,
time, and
right.
I don't know if you guys were experiencing it, but down here in the North Bristol, which is comprised of Attleboro, Taunton, Fall River, and New Bedford, each one must have had a nephew in the high technology business because they went with four separate systems that were incompatible
Yeah.
and couldn't communicate with each other.
Yeah.
That's why we ended up with MLS PIN.
Yeah.
Right.
They came in and ate everybody's lunch. For years they were going to make the change. For me, the straw that broke the camel's back was I was working with a couple. They were looking in Dighton.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find anything. So I said, you work down in that neck of the woods. How about in Somerset? Very nice town. Maybe, you can find something $5,000, $10,000 less. I went to search for it online. They were part of the Fall River board.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get that information. And I said, the only town between Taunton and Somerset is Dighton.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get to the Jersey Shore here.
Exactly.
So I switched. That's when I made the switch. But now
I-
you can access stuff all over the state.
I had a similar experience is what changed me. I was in Brockton. I'm thinking, I live in Bridgewater, and there were no listings in Bridgewater in this book. And I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it all switched. I said, that's all in another computer. I can't get the information.
Yeah. It's a different world now, huh? It's instant information, instant communication.
Well,
Consumers demand it,
and we have to
we're
keep
trying to do it.
We have to keep abreast. I mean, thank God we got rid of the DVD. No, what was the other thing? VCR.
VCR.
Yeah, because mine would still be flashing 12. I mean, that's where I'm at technologically. Thank God I have kids.
They can turn your phone
teach
on
me.
for you.
You got to come to a couple of our classes on technology, Charlie.
I'll bring all three of my
February
thumbs.
15th, that's
Yeah.
right. Little Colin.
Well, I just want to touch the gavel for luck. All right. Hey, I want to thank both of you guys for being on here
it's a
today.
pleasure.
It's been
pleasure.
It's been a good show. And if there's anybody out there and they'd like to get a copy of today's show, please send an email to letstalkrealestate@verizon.net. Please include your name, address, and phone number so that we can verify that. And that's for the first 100 respondents only because we can't afford to do this all day. And if you have any questions concerning becoming a realtor or perhaps why you would want to choose working with a realtor rather than someone who isn't, please, again, send an email to letstalkrealestate@verizon.net. I'll forward that information along to my dear friends Bill or Marty, and we'll get the answers for you. I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and please stay safe. See you next time on Let's Talk Real Estate. Thanks, guys.